Finished up today with, really spirited 11-on-11 period. Loved the energy of our guys. It's been a busy, week for them, physically, mentally, with, classes ending, a lot of papers, reading days, getting into exams. But I love the way we practiced today. Just a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, especially our defensive guys were flying around today. So it was an exciting day. Offensively, just trying to get a little bit of the rust off with timing and things of that nature. And again, we're working. A lot of people, sometimes we got to take a step back, but we're working a new center guard combination in there, which. We're going through a little bit of that right now in terms of schemes and going up against a pretty good front defensively. So, but a good practice. Pleased with it. And now they've got, they got a community service event on Sunday at Myers, which we're excited about. And Monday they'll weight train and condition. Tuesday we'll get about an hour and 15-minute practice and a little bit of a scrimmage. So. With that, questions?
Brian, last year after the bowl game, you kind of expressed some frustration. Maybe you didn't practice physical enough leading up to that game, and that you didn't have a full line to do some of that. What's the situation this year? Are you able to get the physical practices?
Well, we haven't tackled yet, but we've been pretty physical. The period of time, obviously, Eric, is a lot shorter than playing for. The BCS championship. We're in a shorter window here, so I feel a lot more comfortable with the preparation time leading up to when we'll play. So we'll hit a little bit and tackle a little bit next week, and I think that's going to serve us well. If we were in a longer period of time, we're a little thin again this year because of the offensive line injuries. But I think I'm not in a position now this year where I feel concerned that we can't get the work done necessary.
What are the challenges of you've lost the two coordinators? I know you've named their replacements, but you have less people and just people doing new jobs and all that. What is the challenge of all that?
Well, I think from the offensive standpoint, I'm just arranged my schedule so I can be. I was involved a lot. I'm just involved a little bit more. So with the new recruiting calendar, it's really helped out incredibly, because now we'll get into practices and not on the road recruiting. So I think it's going to work out just fine on the offensive side of the ball. I'm not concerned at all from that standpoint. Defensively, what we have is a wealth of knowledge with, three of our coaches, and two in particular have such a great understanding of the defense, and Kerry Cooks and Mike Elston. And then Bobby Elliott is coordinated for a long period of time. So really feel comfortable with what we have there. And Josh Reardon, very experienced coach, can go in there and step in and help us with the linebackers I already have. So I'm not really that concerned with it. We're going to be very well prepared for the game. There won't be any excuses about not being prepared and not having our guys ready to play.
A lot of times you depend on attendance and all that. It'll be a challenge for them, for the Rutgers, is to, I guess, know what you're doing, but they fired one of their coordinators. What challenge does that bring, with one of their coordinators out trying to prepare for them?
Yeah, I don't think there'll be much difference, and it's hard to go and put in new schemes, during this period of time, because they're in exams like we are. You're not putting in a ton of new schemes. You may accentuate one thing or another, but you're going to look very similar to what you are during the season, and then you'll just adjust during the game. So I wouldn't make too much of it. I think you're going to look like you are from your body of work, and maybe you make an adjustment or two during the game.
You talked to Everett since he officially got back yesterday?
No, I have not connected with him. We've traded some voicemails back and forth, but I have not talked to him directly.
Did you
were going to see him, sir? I believe you're going to see him this week in Myrtle Beach. I mean,
I saw him this past week, yes.
He's still on track to maybe meet you guys in New York?
Yeah, he's going to be up in New York, so we're going to try to arrange him to come down and spend a little time, but I was with him on Tuesday.
Does he have to pay his own way to get to New York, or can he travel with the team?
He has to take care of all that on his own. Yep. He'll be in New York, so he's already made those arrangements.
Brian, what's your reaction just to getting him back? I know we kind of assumed that would be the case, but you never really know until it happens.
Well, I'm pleased that that the university has saw that he's deserving of another opportunity. So we're excited that that has been extended to him. I got to figure out whether we have a scholarship available for him. We'll meet on that this afternoon. I think we probably can find one. But no, we're certainly excited that he's got an opportunity to continue his education and play football here. So I thought it was great news, and we were hoping for that.
Brian, when you met with him, what kind of guy did you end up sitting down with, and did he look different physically to you as well as maybe?
He did. Yeah, he's physically more mature, probably over 200 pounds. He looked great, quite frankly. Great physical condition, and I think mentally is really where I saw a young man that understands what he's coming back to. And he had even said that, I know that there's going to be a lot of people out there that are looking at me, and not all of them are going to want to see me succeed. And so he knows what he's coming into. And I think a couple of years ago when we were there, he was packing his bags as a freshman, and now he's coming back as somebody that's going to have to lead. So the conversations were a little bit different about the expectations that are on him. But he's got to come back. He's got to assimilate. He's got to get back into academics and the community, and he's got to get back and earning the job back.
How does what he went through affect his ability to lead, if at all?
Well, I think it really just depends on his actions. I think he's set up to lead by the way he handled the situation. I think he's gotten a lot of respect from his teammates in the manner that he handled himself. Took full accountability and responsibility for his actions. Didn't point a finger. He was a thumb pointer when it came to this matter. Took it head on. And I think now it'll be strictly his actions. I think he'll be judged by how he acts, and if he's truly the guy that we think he's going to be, I think he'll earn that respect by his actions.
I asked Chuck this on Media Day. What happened with him? Does that make you, when he comes back, are you going to trust him more because he went through this, or trust him less because he went through this?
I think trust is always about you add to it, and then sometimes you withdraw from that bank of trust, over a period of time. I think in the situation that he's gone through, he's done everything that we've asked him. I think he's added a little bit to that bank of trust over this period of time. And then I think, again, we'll go into this off season expecting him to continue to build on that. I think if there's anything that we'll have to do for him is that there's going to be a lot of noise surrounding Everett Golson. There's going to be, like I said, I think there's going to be as many people looking for him to not succeed as there will be to succeed. Unfortunately, not everybody likes a good story. So there'll be some cynics out there. So I think we're going to have to support him, but I think he's prepared to handle all those things, and we'll be there to support him.
With your staff defensively, do you have an idea of where you want to go, and how important is scheme? Bob was a 3-4, but a multiple guy.
Yeah.
Do you need to find a 3-4 multiple coordinator?
Yes. I mean, again, I think we've talked about this before. We're last year we were almost 50-50, 3 down to 4 down, and so as long as we have the ability to play both 3 and 4 down, and we have the ability to adjust to playing option, playing spreads, our defensive coaches in the schedule that we have got to have a great deal of flexibility. So the defensive coordinator has to have that ability to handle a variety of different offenses. So it can't be, well, I just do this, okay? We've got to have some flexibility, and to do that, you've got to be able to run both 3 down and 4 down.
Is a first-time coordinator at this level something that is okay for you? I mean, offensively, you're there, you're in those meeting rooms.
Yeah.
Defensively, that was sort of more Bob's thing. So
Sure.
Is a first-time full-on defensive coordinator okay at this level?
I would never want to close a door. I mean, I was a first-time head coach at 27 years old, so I think I always remember about those. Well, geez, you can't give a guy 27 years old a head coaching job. So I would never close that door. I would tell you that the coordinator's job here at Notre Dame, now having been here for 4 years, requires a lot of experience in defending so many different looks. And one of the most important things is you don't have a lot of knowledge of your opponents, unfortunately, with so many different teams that come in and off our schedule. So you have to have a great bank of experience. So I think you have to have a great deal of experience coming into the position. But I don't want to paint myself into a corner and say, yeah, you can't be it. But I really think it helps. Now, you can gain a lot of that by maintaining continuity on your staff. And, I expect to do that. I expect to keep all my staff other than losing my coordinators.
Yeah, I wanted to put a finer point on. There was some speculation that Mike might be a candidate to go with Bob to Connecticut. Is that not going to happen?
I don't expect that to happen. I expect all my staff to stay in place.
Brian, it seemed like in October when you guys played in Dallas, you got a pretty good bump perception-wise with recruits down there. Can that happen with the bowl game out in that area?
In New York?
Yeah.
I think it can, and then I'll say it this way: in that area in particular is a very strong area in 2014 or 15 in particular. There's a strong that's a strong recruiting area, and so I think it can be a very good thing for us to be out there. So, yeah, I think years sometimes change, in terms of recruiting, but that's been a good area for us, and I think it's going to be a good one for us in this particular game being out there.
I know, when you were in Dallas, it was a home game. This is a bowl game. There's different scenarios. What can you guys do to kind of court recruits a little bit?
Yeah, we can't. There's no similarities between having that offsite at, when you go into a bowl game situation, other than we can open it up to coaches, for practice. So there is that potential connection.
You can't have kids to practice?
No.
Brian, a number of players talked about Bob coming back to address them.
I'm sorry?
A number of players talked about Bob coming back to address them.
Yeah, I let Bob come back in and talk to the defense.
What was the conversation like when did Bob come to you and say, hey, I want to come back and talk to these guys?
Bob asked me, and I said that I felt that it was a good idea that he got a chance to address the defense before he left. Anytime that you can do that, I think it's great. Very rarely do you have that chance. I've always wanted to have that opportunity, and I've taken advantage of it and have been hammered for it, but I feel like it's the right way to do it. I did it at Central Michigan when it was already leaked that I was going to Cincinnati, and I did it the same thing. I was at a banquet in Cincinnati, and it was already leaked that I was coming to Notre Dame, and I waited around through the whole banquet to talk to the team because I just felt like the right thing to do. So I think if you can do it, you should try to address those kids that you've been with. So if I can create that situation, which I was able to, I wanted Bob to be able to talk to those kids, and he was able to, so it was great.
Did you sense any levels of surprise with the defensive players that Bob took the job?
No. After the initial wow and, Coach Diaco's leaving, I got a chance to talk to our our team, after they realize that, you know, it's a great opportunity for him professionally, no, they just wish him the best.
I just want to ask you about Torrey Hunter. We had a chance to talk to him yesterday. He said he's feeling pretty confident with his leg. Have you noticed him just going full bore with the cuts and everything? I guess
He's
since
pretty
we've
good.
been
He's a
running
pretty good
practice.
player. That's all I'll tell you. He hasn't caught a pass, hasn't caught a touchdown, but you're going to be talking about him. He's a pretty good player.
Brian, kind of on that note.
I don't know if he can hit or anything like that. I'm talking about football. I don't know if he can steal bases or catch fly balls, but he can play football.
Was it initially the plan to have him play baseball, and then did the knee injury scuttle that?
No, you know, and we talked about it. My rules relative to two-sport athletes are once you establish yourself in the sport that's paying for your education, then I'm open to working with that second sport. So he's got to establish himself in the spring. Once he establishes himself in the spring, which I'm certain he will, then we'll allow him to work out a schedule that can do both, if he can.
Do you think he'll ever play baseball, given what his potential is in football?
I mean, I'm speculating that I know anything about what Mick knows about in terms of baseball. So I really couldn't tell you. I haven't even looked at a minute of film when it comes to baseball. And I really don't know what he can do and what his skill set is. I know what he can do on football field, but I have no idea baseball-wise.
Brian, kind of along the lines of Hunter, last year at this time, you had.
I'm sorry.
Along the lines of Hunter, some of the young guys that were playing.
Hunter Bivin?
I'm sorry, Torrey Hunter.
Torrey, I'm sorry.
Last year, you kind of had Procise emerge at this point.
Mhm.
Is there anyone in that kind of realm of these 2 weeks practice that you've seen?
Durham Smythe is going to be a really good player. Really good player. Outstanding ball skills. It's going to continue to get bigger and stronger. I don't want to overhype him, but he has some really unique ball skills for that position that he plays. And as long as he continues to develop and get stronger physically, and he doesn't get into a hybrid position in terms of not getting strong enough to play as an inline tight end, he's going to be an exceptional player.
Coach, what
No, I got to get Angelo. I mean, he came in late. I mean,
no, I didn't. That was me.
Oh, that was you? Oh, you get no questions. You get two then.
What's the schedule for the next week with what you can do with these guys, and then what's the goal of what you want to accomplish?
I want to scrimmage a little bit, tackle, kind of, go back to what we were talking about relative to, keeping our guys sharp. We can't do much because of exams. We found a small window on Tuesday and Thursday in the morning where guys have a bit of an opening where we can get in for about an hour and get some work with our guys on Tuesday and Thursday. So Tuesday and Thursday we'll take about an hour and a half and really scrimmage, do a little bit of Rutgers. Monday and Wednesday they'll condition and weight train. We'll give them Friday off. And then Saturday and Sunday we'll really go hard at Rutgers game planning.
And then any consideration into going outside because of the fact that the game will be outside?
Absolutely. We just, obviously limited today and being able to do so, but a definite factor in wanting to get our kids acclimated to getting outside, no question. All right, thanks.